Hey everyone, I'm Jason, and this is your commentary on Exodus chapter 7. Then the Lord said to Moses, I have made you like God to Pharaoh, and your brother Aaron will be like a prophet to you. You must say everything I command you to say. Then your brother Aaron must tell Pharaoh to let the people of Israel leave his country. God says to Moses that he's going to make him like God to Pharaoh. Pharaoh was considered a god to the Egyptians. They actually had a whole multitude of gods that they worshipped, and Pharaoh was one of them. So for God to make Moses like God, it would be setting him up to go head to head with Pharaoh. But I will make Pharaoh's heart stubborn. I will multiply my miraculous signs and wonders in Egypt. In spite of that, he will not listen to you. So I will use my powerful hand against Egypt. When I judge them with mighty acts, I will bring my people Israel out like an army on the march. Then the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord. I will reach out my powerful hand against Egypt. I will bring the people of Israel out of it. Moses and Aaron did exactly as the Lord had commanded them. Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron was 83 when they spoke to Pharaoh. Now here Moses is 80. When he first left Egypt to go into the wilderness, he was 40 years old. Altogether, Moses is going to live about 120 years. Now this is reassuring and at the same time can be a little bit frustrating for us. When we are looking for purpose for our life, sometimes we want to rush things. For him, this would be considered old age. Even for us nowadays, 80 years old is old age. And yet that is a time when God has called Moses into ministry. Then the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron. He said, Pharaoh will say to you, do a miracle. When he does, speak to Aaron. Tell him, take your wooden staff and throw it down in front of Pharaoh. It will turn into a snake. So Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh. They did exactly as the Lord had commanded them. Aaron threw his staff down in front of Pharaoh and his officials. It turned into a snake. Then Pharaoh sent for wise men and those who do evil magic. By doing their magic tricks, the Egyptian magicians did the same things Aaron had done. Each one threw his staff down. Each staff turned into a snake. But Aaron's staff swallowed theirs up. This is extremely important because whether they're doing actual magic or they're doing tricks, the thought of them throwing down their staffs, making them into snakes, Aaron's staff was more powerful than theirs was. His snake swallowed theirs up. So even at this point, God's still showing that he's going to be sovereign over anything that Pharaoh can do. In spite of that, Pharaoh's heart became stubborn. He wouldn't listen to them, just as the Lord had said. Then the Lord said to Moses, Pharaoh's heart is very stubborn. He refuses to let the people go. In the morning, Pharaoh will go down to the water. Go and wait on the bank of the Nile River to meet him. Take in your hand the wooden staff that turned into a snake. Say to Pharaoh, the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, has sent me to you. He says, let my people go. Then you will be able to worship me in the desert. But up to now you have not listened. The Lord says, here is how you will know that I am the Lord. I will strike the water of the Nile River with the staff that is in my hand. The river will turn into blood. The fish in the river will die. The river will stink. The Egyptians will not be able to drink its water. For the Egyptians, the Nile River was like the lifeblood, quite literally, for the Egyptians. That was the source of their agriculture, of everything that they had, came from the Nile River. The Lord said to Moses, tell Aaron, get your staff, reach your hand out over the waters of Egypt. The streams, waterways, ponds, and all the lakes will turn into blood. There will be blood everywhere in Egypt. It will even be in the wooden buckets and stone jars. Moses and Aaron did exactly as the Lord had commanded them. Aaron held out his staff in front of Pharaoh and his officials. He struck the water of the Nile River, and all of the water turned into blood. The fish in the Nile died. The river smelled so bad the Egyptians couldn't drink its water. There was blood everywhere in Egypt. But the Egyptian magicians did the same things by doing their magic tricks. So Pharaoh's heart became stubborn. He wouldn't listen to Moses and Aaron, just as the Lord had said. Even that miracle didn't change Pharaoh's mind. In fact, he turned around and went into his palace. All of the Egyptians dug holes near the Nile River to get drinking water. They couldn't drink water from the river. Well, that is it for commentary on Exodus chapter 7. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.